Hello, everybody. My name is Foshin. I'm with AmericanCivilDebate.com. I'm here with Matt,
What's going on, guys?
and I'm here with my father
How
again.
y'all doing tonight? Hope everybody's wonderful as I am.
All right, Matt. So what are we going to talk about?
Patriotism.
What
Where
about-
does it begin and where does it end?
All right. Let's start. Earlier, we were talking about you're a Marine vet. You look at things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
So when people are saying the national anthem, you said there's 3 to 4 ways.
Yeah. So, if you're a veteran, you stand there at attention or salute. Or if you're wearing a hat, you take the hat off, put it over your heart. Or if you're not wearing a hat and you're not a veteran, you put your hand over your heart. It's one of those things. You pay respect to the what is it? The homage of the people who have sat there and sacrificed their lives for the greater good.
Okay, and what's patriotism for you, Dad?
Patriotism is exactly what Matt said. You don't have to honor a flag, but if you're in this country, you should honor our flag, because a lot of men fought, a lot of men died for that right from all the wars. So it's just something people should do. It's a patriotic gesture. If you don't do it, it don't mean you're not a patriot, but it just makes you look in a bad light to me, because I am, and I served, and I was taught the same thing Matt was.
Okay, so
What is it to you?
all right, patriotism. I think you always stand with the flag, no matter what. I think you put your hand over your heart, and you should be able to recite the national anthem. I think you should be able. I think in our day, when I was going to school, we had to say the national anthem every day, or not say the Pledge Allegiance. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Please forgive me. I'm Pledge Allegiance. Now, when you were in school, did you say the Pledge Allegiance?
Every day.
And then other people stand outside?
Nope.
Nobody?
I'll say this, whether or not, the school board wants to take action, but nobody knows where I went to high school from. Our teacher was like, if you're not standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and saying the Pledge of Allegiance, you can get out of here, go to the principal's office.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
I had a lot of my teachers feel that way about it. Some of my teachers were veterans, and some of my teachers had kids who were in the service.
Right.
And it's one of those things where, like, if you're not going to sit here and stand for what has been sacrificed before you, don't even be in my presence.
But do you think that's patriotism too?
Yes.
Okay, so earlier we were talking about Antifa, and they're saying they're fighting a fascist government. But aren't they being fascist themselves by doing what
Oh yeah,
they're claiming not to be?
It's one of those things to where, whether it's BLM or Antifa or what is it, Proud Boys now? That's the other one.
Or you got the Ku Klux Klan, you got the skinheads. I mean, look, there's so many of those, so many hate groups out there.
They sit there and they try and preach, we're bringing America back to its roots. No, you're bringing America back to the way that when the group was first started on how it was. Everything's adjusted. Everything's different now. You got to put everything into. You got to look at everything from its retrospective.
Okay, and then earlier we were talking about. Well, let's just bring this up: the Dixie flag or the
Confederate flag. Yep.
The Confederate flag.
Yep.
How do you think? Like, when you see somebody flying the Confederate flag, do you ever ask them, why are you flying the Confederate flag?
I don't ask them. I normally make an assumption, and I know that's also wrong to do, but most of the time when I see a Confederate flag being flown, it's in the bed of a pickup truck of a high school kid who probably does not understand anything of its meaning or its origin or where it's come from.
See, and that's exactly what I was going to say, too. I don't think that people really realize what that Confederate flag is. Now, you were talking earlier today, Dad, about how Georgia used to have the Confederate flag, right?
The Confederate flag, when I was growing up, this was back in the 50s and 60s. It was a symbol of Southern pride, Southern heritage. And a lot of radical people have decided to take it over. And now it's a racist symbol. Well, that has nothing to do with what it was originally meant to be. And it's just a shame that they have done that and everybody follows along with it. It's not like the Third Reich sign. It's not that. It was the Southern people never murdered 6 million innocent people.
Okay.
It's just not like that.
Okay, so, and see, we were talking about, like, even with the Dukes of Hazzard, like the country station that you watch, CMT. They took it off because the rebel flag on the Dukes of Hazzard on the General League. And you're sitting there and you're thinking, okay, why would they do that?
Same way you did at Ole Miss. The Ole Miss students used to stand up every time something happened and fly the Confederate flags. Well, they banned that.
Well, if you remember, not too long ago, the state Georgia flag was the monument, the Georgia monument, and then the rest of it was part of the Confederate flag.
Correct.
No, and I understand that, but why did they change that? Honestly,
Because they
Times
got
are
pressure
changing.
from the government.
Times are changing.
Yes, times are changing. Just like if in Mississippi they had something similar to what Georgia had, and then all of a sudden says, well, nobody's going there. We're not going to have any sports. We're not going to have anything go to Mississippi unless you get rid of it, which is a terrible thing.
So, and then earlier we started talking about NASCAR, and now Matt brought up that NASCAR was started in the South.
South, yes, it was originally a Southern sport.
But what was what was NASCAR really?
Like, how did NASCAR come about?
I have no clue.
All right,
All
so
I know, they ran at Daytona Beach, and that was the growth or the birth of NASCAR.
NASCAR came about from moonshiners running from the law. They souped up their Pontiacs, their Fords, their old Dodges, and that's how NASCAR came about.
Okay, I can't argue that, but it originated, to me, in Daytona Beach when they started having the Daytona 500 on sand.
So, okay. Now, remember, in the last 2 years, I think they changed it out of saying no more Confederate flags being flown at the NASCAR.
That's correct.
Why do you think that was? Do you think that was...
Because it's a symbol of what we just talked about earlier. It's a symbol to a lot of the population. It is to me, too. It's a symbol of racism because the radical groups have taken it over and made it that way.
All right, so let's broaden on that, like the Stone Mountain. The granite rock up there, they're wanting to take all those people off or blow up.
It's just a sign of the times, Bo. I mean, the monument to the Confederacy took, 100 years to make, 50 years to make. I do know that about 27 men lost their lives doing the carvings on that monument. And it's just a tribute to the South. The old South. It has nothing to do with racism. And to me, in my heart, of course, I don't know what it means to other folks.
Okay. So, with that being said, we're talking about the 1619 Project.
Yep.
Remember, we were talking about that. And you remember listening to that this morning?
Yes, I do.
And how the New York Times wrote a piece about it, right?
Yeah.
Can you broaden everybody?
Yeah. So how it wanted to... Oh, let me pull it back up. Jesus. You're catching me off guard with all these.
I'm sorry about that. You're getting better, though.
I'm trying. So it was the good Lord, load. Oh, it's the wrong article. Dang it.
It was the teachers union president that started this.
It was it's a narrative of which aims to reframe the country's history by placing the consequences of slavery and contributions of black Americans at the very center of the United States national narrative. So it's basically saying the whole United States was founded upon slavery.
Do you believe that?
Absolutely not.
Do you believe that?
It was brought about by British oppression. I mean, maybe they don't teach it in school anymore, but that's what it was brought about by.
But remember, and that's why they said the United States and Britain got into a war, right? And that's what basically, isn't that what they said on there?
Well,
That Britain.
No, not on here. It's saying that solely from the way that I'm reading it and the way that I'm looking at it, and I consider myself mildly educated. Is that it's saying that America was founded on the
Spit it out. Racism?
I'm trying to think of the word. It was America was founded on the optimization of racism. You know, how racism can make a country better.
Did you learn that in your history class when you
No,
took
I did
history?
not.
Did you learn that?
Absolutely not.
See, I've never even we found when I was going through high school and then not elementary, I'll say middle school, when we took American history classes, the United States got into a fight with Britain because we were tired of the taxes, and King George was sitting there trying to tax us to death because. And if you look at King George, they tried taking over the world anyways. They were in in Africa trying to.
What was it? The South India Trade Company or whatever it was, or what they created? Or the East India Trade Company. Sorry, that's what it was. Of what where they tried to gain all the I guess nowadays you would say the rights to all the spices and everything like that. Because I mean, back in the day, salt was worth more than gold,
right?
And it's one of those things to where
I guess what I'm trying to say is there's still slavery today.
Oh yeah,
I mean, you look in the Middle East and you look in Africa, and they still trade slaves down there. Is that right? No, it's not right at all.
No,
and I guess the thing is, like when you're looking at patriotism. It just seems like, because we were talking about like Hispanics and Guatemalans and all them, and
let me ask you this real quick before you go on your thing. What is the definition of patriotism to you?
I think it's respecting the country that you come from. I think it's having pride in your country.
Okay.
When the national anthem is being sang, or you're saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
So you're saying it's pride towards one's country. And then you're giving an example of you being an American and how it affects you.
Bingo.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And see, I disagree with that. To me, once you cross the border and come into this country, you should fly the American flag. You should be proud to be here and be part of it.
Well, no. We're not talking about patriotism towards America. We're talking about patriotism in general.
Okay, well, that's fine. Once you come to this country, you should expatriate yourself from your other country. You're here.
Especially if you become nationalized here.
Definitely.
Certainly if you become nationalized. But wait a minute. Never mind.
No. And my biggest thing is, like, if you become nationalized here, I have no problem with you still teaching heritage of where you come from.
See, and I think that's important, too. I think you should learn heritage.
Because without heritage, you're going to fall right back into the hole of where everyone else is at.
Oh, so that's what they're doing to our Southern heritage?
Well, that's what they're doing to the United States, if you look at it.
That's what's going on in general.
I agree.
Because I've had multiple friends who have, their families have come from Mexico, Spain. I've had people come from Honduras who do not know how to speak any part of their language, but their parents do.
Right.
And that's killing heritage right there. That's bringing about to where, you're not carrying on the legacy.
Or tradition, tradition or pride in your country or your country of origin.
Exactly.
See, I think that's pretty neat. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I'm old school. And to me, if you're living in a country, if I were to be picked up and moved to France, I need to learn French.
Oh, absolutely.
And somebody that comes to this country needs to learn our language. So, I mean, just to converse with the people at the grocery store, or the court system, or whatever, there's not interpreters everywhere. Learn our language.
But you know what? I think everybody knows the international language for money, like the squeezing their hands.
Dinero, la
Or
chuga.
dinero, or shooting a bird at each other. Everybody knows that. That's just... Everybody knows those languages there.
That's universal language at that point.
So, coming back around, though, I mean, with the Confederate flag, if people learn more of the history of that flag, do you think they would be more sympathetic toward it? Or do
Absolutely
you think
not. Because it's become a symbol
of hate
and racism.
And why it's become a symbol of hate and racism is because all of the supremacist groups have used it.
They fly it, yes.
And that's the biggest issue of it.
But isn't that like, and I'm sure you've heard this. If your friends are doing something, you're going to do it too, right? Like if you're going to jump off a bridge.
The age-old question your mom asks you, if your friends jump off a bridge, are you going to join them?
Right.
Absolutely not. No way.
But you see my point. But it's like,
Well, I mean, it depends on if it's a fun jump or not.
right? Or
How bushy looks.
or somebody pushing you off.
Oh, yeah.
I've had that happen. But going back to, it's like the herd mentality, like they keep saying on the news, the herd mentality of
You're going to be a follower or a leader?
leader, right? And I'm not much of a follower. I'm really not.
My thing is, everyone's driving on the highway. Highway's the easiest way to go.
right?
If there's a shorter way to go and I know it, I'm going to take that path and let everybody take the longer path.
But the highway, it's the highway. You can go anywhere you want to go. You know what I mean? Because there's other highways going to other places, east, west, north,
Yeah,
south.
but that's the easy way to take it, ain't it?
Right.
Depends on where you're heading, what your goals are.
I-4. I don't like driving down I-4.
Or 95. I-4 is just crazy.
Or 75,
Or 85 going into Atlanta.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing 100 miles per
Or
hour.
what is it? The one going towards Toccoa, 725 or 745?
985.
No, the one it's the 2-lane highway that they got right there.
I don't know. I haven't been there in 10 years. So
724. Something weird.
All right, but going back to our topic for the night, I think more people patriotism, but I think more people need to. I think they need to look at things and like you said, look at it and find out the facts about it, and not just, you know what I mean. I mean,
yeah.
The Confederate flag now is it's like a plague for a lot of people. If you fly it,
it is a plague, and I'm a Southern boy, and I would not fly it because I am not that way, and I hate that. But patriotism is, to me, you honor every fallen American in every war that's ever fought. You think about them, and you stand up and salute them.
But I guess here's my thing: you can fly a Confederate flag; it doesn't bother me. You don't have to fly a Confederate flag. It doesn't bother me. I could care less. It's not. I'm not into all that in the first place. I've never had a Confederate flag. Never even thought about having one. I mean, that's just me. I'm not. Like I said, I'm not a follower. I'd rather lead. I have my own things I want to do in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, hold on. I don't know if you guys remember when you take 95 up to Georgia and drive through Valdosta. There's that one place that flies that big ass Confederate flag.
Yes, it is.
And
matter
it's
of fact,
still there
when
to
you
this
cross when you cross into Florida, coming south, it's on the left hand side. Now I haven't been that way in a while, so I don't know whether he still flies it or not. It was huge.
I saw
big
it,
as my house.
I saw it last time I went there, which is about a year ago.
Yeah, well, good for him. I mean, he's a free country and do what he wants to. And if he stands with the people who feel that it's a racist symbol, then I feel sorry for him.
I guess. Okay, but here's my point again. Who cares? I mean, seriously.
Whoa! You ain't been watching the news?
Everybody
cares.
My point is, I don't care. I just don't care.
Good for you, but everybody else does.
Okay.
You're one of the 5% of people in the population who don't care what flag you fly.
Well, I don't.
You got
I really
the
don't.
other 95% who you got the Karen down the road that you got a palm frond in your yard, and she's going to call county on you.
But my point is, I mean, here we are. We had the F Joe Biden sign. People like it. Other people hate it. They shoot us birds. They call us names. They whatever. Doesn't bother me. No sweat off of me.
Yeah, that's you. You aren't what represents America. You got to understand that.
Who represents America, though? Let's think about.
We
Hold
the
on. Think
people.
about that.
We the people.
America.
I understand that.
Hold on. America is a melting pot.
Yes, it is.
Right or wrong?
Understand.
Right,
So
absolutely
you
right.
have everybody from Joe Schmo to Karen to Kevin to whatever you want to look at. You know, it will always vary on the people and what they find offensive. You can't sit there as a government by itself and be like, that's not offensive. I don't care what you say. You can't do that. You have to take into account because you're trying to make everybody feel comfortable. That's what the purpose of the government is for, is to make everybody feel comfortable and do what they need to do and become a government. They're trying to unite people.
Hold on for just a second here. It's not the government's job for that. What is the
Believe me,
government's
I don't
job?
know.
No, I understand. What is the government's job? It's to uphold the laws and everything else, right? So how did
Fix
it
our
become?
roads, fix our bridges, and defend our country. Other than
Okay.
that, leave me alone.
But how did it become where we're becoming dependent on the government again?
People complaining, people wanting to get their way because of how society has become itself within the past 50 years.
But isn't that the most pathetic thing you ever heard? Honestly, I
Okay.
mean, you look
I
at it;
agree
it's
with
it's
that.
it's
I
it's
absolutely agree
it's
with that.
freaking pathetic. It's time for people just to say enough is enough and stand up and say, you know, this is BS.
How can they do that when they are getting so much money from the government? It's easier to do that than it is to go out and get
No,
a
I'm not
job.
talking about. I'm talking about everyday, average, blue collar people that are sitting there working 40 hours a week. They're still taking money out of their thing, and they're getting, they're getting a little bit of money, but they're not getting their tax return back because they took a stimulus check. It's like, give me a friggin' break. The people are like, God Almighty, leave me alone. All I want to do is live my life and enjoy life.
He's talking about the people that need to get the sand out of their ass cracks and walk normal. Honestly.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's what it is. Everyone has an issue, and it's, well, I can't fix my issue by myself because I'm not a big enough person to understand what's going on, so I'm going to go and call and complain to county or to the government, and then if you get enough of those people, something's going to happen because they feel like the government isn't doing what they need
But
to do.
that's also because enough more other people haven't stood up and said enough is enough of this crap.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the patriotism, and see, we ask this question to everybody. What is patriotism to everybody else?
And I
But-
hope they respond, but patriotism wears a lot of different faces. I mean, we talked about the flag,
And,
we talked about
and there's a
honor
lot of
veterans.
opinions about it, too, though.
But patriotism is also the American way, and the American way is you get up, you go to work, you earn your salary, you take care of your family, your house, and your food. That's patriotism.
You sit there and you earn your keep.
Absolutely.
And
Don't
you're not
depend
mooching
on
off,
the
and you're
federal
not
government to
you're
give
not-
you a dime.
and not mooching off. Exactly.
Like me, I will say this. I am proud to say this. I still live with my parents, but every single day I earn my keep. I go to work. I do what I need to. I come home. I do chores. I'll vacuum. I'll take the trash out. I'll cut down trees. I do whatever I need to earn my keep.
And it's just the way it's always been, Matt, since I was born and raised way back when. I'm glad your parents do you that way, so you're learning something.
My parents don't make me do anything. I ask them if I can do stuff.
Okay. You're one of a few. Most of them say, Mommy, Daddy, I need to go to the beer store. Give me some money. You know? I don't know. It's just we've come so much full circle with.
But you stop for a sec. That's not patriotism, is it?
No, it's
I mean,
not,
no, but let's just be honest here. What is patriotism? It's living your life, not trying to.
No, the definition of patriotism is. Why do you do this to me?
I like seeing you get all wonky over there.
Oh, man. Okay. Patriotism is national pride is a feeling of love, devotion, and sense to the attachment to a homeland and alliance with other citizens who share the same sentiment, or the quality of being patriotic, devotion to, and vigorous support of one's country.
Okay, so let's look at this then. Do you think
I just
Democrat?
want
Do
you
you
to
think
know we're at 24 minutes right now.
that's fine? Do you think Democrats are patriotic towards this country?
I think they intend to be, but they're not because they are nothing but for bigger government.
Matt,
They've got their own agenda, Bo. You know that.
I understand. Your
But
turn,
in their
Matt.
minds, they're being patriotic.
That's what I wanted to say. Nobody really knows what the definition of patriotic is, and what they feel is being patriotic is patriotic in their own mind. So they're sitting there trying to do what's better for them, and they think it's better for the country, but it may not be. It may be.
Okay, so
It's
let's
one of
look
those
at
things.
Antifa and BLM. Do you think they're being?
No, I'm not talking about that.
No, I understand, but do you think they're being? They think they're being patriotic. They think going against the government, against fascist government, and all they're doing is being fascist towards everybody else and helping the.
Let me ask this real quick. Do you remember what your oath of enlistment was?
Say it again.
Do you remember what your oath of enlistment was?
No.
to protect the government or to protect the people.
Oh, you're talking about us in the service?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. Protect the people of the government and do whatever they tell you to do.
So
basically,
no, I'll tell you that. So the oath of enlistment was to protect the Constitution, whether they're foreign or domestic, against any terrorist. That's what your oath of enlistment is.
And that's being being patriotic right there?
Without a doubt. Because you're sitting there, you're protecting the Constitution of the United States of America, whether it's foreign or domestic, against all tyranny.
What's your final thoughts, Dad?
My final thought is this. Being patriotic is something that should be taught to you and instilled in you, not only at home, but through the school system.
From day one?
From day one, absolutely. You learn it and you live by it and be ready to go out and fight and die for it. And there ain't many people in this country ready to do that today.
Matt, go ahead.
Actually, I'm going to ask you because I want to do the outro on this one. So you go ahead, sir.
Okie doke. I think, who cares what people think? Honestly. We talked about this earlier. It's like Christians. You got hypocrites. You got hypocrites as people that are saying they're Christianity. You have people that are hypocrites and politicians. You got hypocrites wherever you go. I think if you believe in God, if you don't believe in God, if you're atheist, okay, that's good. Be an atheist. But if you believe in God and you're going to serve God, like I try to do every day, I get upset. I cussed at God, and that's not being. And I'm honest. I'm an honest person. I'm not going to sit there and tell you I've never cussed at God, but I've cussed at God. Does that make me a non-Christian? No, it doesn't. I believe in God, and I believe God's trying to help me out every day. And I just think with patriotism, I think patriotism can be defined, and I mean, we already heard the definition of it. But I think so many different people have so many different definitions for patriotism. I think they ought to really think about what they're really trying to represent. Either you're for good or you're for bad. And that's on both sides, because you got bad Republicans and you got bad Democrats. Are they really out for we, the people? And I'm going to say this. No, they are not. All they're doing is stealing our tax dollars and paying for their own agendas, and it's not the people's agenda. Please visit us.
No, I got the outro.
Oh, I am so sorry about that.
You're wrong.
What about love God and country? Where did that come from? As an old saying, that should still be true.
Where did it come from?
I'll tell you this. The saying in the Marine Corps is God, Corps, family. Or God, country, and family. That's what it is. And so my final thoughts is, keep the heritage alive. Keep the patriotism alive. Consider what's right. Everyone has a moral. Follow your morals. And I'm going to leave you at that.
And be human beings to each other.
Exactly.
Treat each other with respect.
Love your neighbor, buddy.
Love thy neighbor.
And treat each other like you want to be treated.
Oh, yeah.
Visit us at AmericanCivilDebate.com.
All right, guys. So, going forward, I want anybody who listens to this podcast to sit there and write a post on our Facebook or our website or email us to tell us what topic you guys want to hear about. And if you guys want to be in the podcast, let us know. We'll give you a call. We'll do an email transcript. Whatever you guys want to do, please let us know. All right? Join us at AmericanCivilDebate.com. That's www.AmericanCivilDebate.com. You can also find us on Facebook, iTunes, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify. Anywhere you get your normal podcasts at, you can find us there. All right? We'll talk to you later.
Have a great night.